We got more and more ghosts coming out with enhanced shockwave about to finish, and that's exactly what you want against Templar tech, which is the backbone of Nice's army. Good pick up on that War Prism.
You're going to start to dive in here with a handful of charge lots, but the Templar inside of the prison start. Oh, those storms on the high ground are so massive, and that's the end of the game right there. Surely there's just not enough bio to be able to stop this third base from going down. Expect was kind of behind right from the get-go.
He will lose every single unit there. Oh, he's going to try to land a shot on the ghost. Oh my goodness, the flanking. His brother gets 7 ghosts. I called it before we even started the series. Can we talk about the disruptor chest?
I think it's pretty overpowered, but you know what else looks pretty darn good? Liberators with eventual...
The main base of the young Russian. I like to refer to him as molodoi bratan. It's like young brother. This is Vanya.
And spawning over on the other side.
Maybe that phase in the game where you want to be a little bit careful, because those Vikings, they obviously don't contribute a whole lot over here.
No, they certainly
don't.
Oh,
no! What? Oh my goodness, I wish this was a live event. I want to see M-Lord's face after that happened. He just stems forward now, gets all the disruptors. GG gets called. Wow, I mean, that happens to me, Ben, but I don't normally see that happen at the Dream... Well, I don't want to say DreamHack Masters, but it's kind of a new event, right? But in the previous, at the Pro Circuit, you don't see those kind of mistakes very often.
No, and what a mistake when you're already so far behind, right? Like, you saw that disruption nova turning back on the army. It's like, nah, I won't let that go. And it goes into the middle of the army. Like, that was a perfect nova.
The Marine Lords can be alright against those builds as well, even though it takes a little while before they really get in there. I like the Marine flank that's coming in from the top side. This Adept is in a little bit of trouble, and it will barely live.
Oh, do you think if he kept the SD on it, it could have been a bit of a... Maybe a bit of poking and getting him down, but it is that Hellion play, Kevin, so I like this.
He would have been able to get 1 hit off, but then the Adept would still be alive.
Bases. Soul's worker count down to 52 versus 95 drones. SERRALL is showing us how to... Oh! I mean, even if he loses all of those, he's got such a bank he can just...
Reminds Burrow, and seither is continuing his push forward.
Now, Risky did not get to pick off those 2 mines. seither standing and fighting in the Baneling. The Marauders helping a lot with the tanking. seither actually takes a really good trade, Zeph. Is this it for Risky? Can he hold here? The Mutas are getting thinned out by the Marines on the left side. The Widowmines connecting with the Ling Bane. All that's left is the Queens, and that will not be enough. Risky is bowling once more for a 2nd game in a row for seither. Oh my goodness, our Australian Terran on match point.
KEKW pulled in, and KEKW confidently going in, Ben. Is this it?
It might just be. The supplies are very close between these players. Fungal, is it even ready yet? No, these infestors trying to march in. Now the Banshees join the fray, and they eliminate the infestors. Oh, they get to throw one Fungal. Wow.
That's huge. These Banshees were completely uncontested. Held so much value there for KEKW, losing 2 of them to the Biles, and to Cham's credit.
Yeah, that was
insane.
Oh no my god. No Widowmines, Pig. And without Widowmines, Terran does not simply walk through this one. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
Just so
many units.
Yeah, there was a Baneling for every single man, woman, and child in that Terran force, and even just a cluster of them for that one Thor.
I feel like I remember that. Right? Yeah, it might have been Battle Mech, but anyways, I feel like I remember that, so I don't want to entirely count out Marine Lord, but it's just one of those things. When SERRALL's on, he's on, he's really on. He 8 zeros, you know, around Robin. Like, it's still a safe bet to say 2-0.
All right, well, we're going to be starting down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, top of the blue Zerg player from Team ENCE. It is... I thought for a second Marine Lord was just going to sacrifice the bases, but I understand why he doesn't want to do that. That's all of his income right now. Now, the Thors are actually getting some pretty juicy connections on a lot of these Broodlords over here, sniping off a few of them. But here we go. The Ultra's going to come storming on forward. Liberator zones also set up, waiting for the Ultras to make their way forward, but it looks like all the Ultras have disappeared, and so are most of the units protecting the Broodlords. The Thors are going to start closing the distance. And
SERRALL is setting up. He's got infestors coming from the backside. It's going to be very tricky. Only a single Liberator on the wrong side to deal with the neural parasites. This could be brutal. This is going to be brutal, 100%.
Oh man, the scan came down, but the scan came down in the wrong place to see the infestors coming in for the narrow parasites on the Thors.
There is a timer here for Rail to do anything. Nice blink forward to actually tank a couple of shots from the tank, so he takes both of them down. And actually the medevac as well. This has gone a little bit topsy-turvy. Soulbody had this so under control, and suddenly the Stalkers are on the high ground. Are they actually going to be doing enough damage on the high ground, though?
Oh, I mean, they're sniping off not only some of these SCVs, but they're going to blink on top of another one of the siege tanks, sniping that off, getting into that mineral line. How Wardy gets around in the UK. He takes the monorail.
Oh, because rail. Okay. All right. Well, you know it's not even called the monorail in most places. It's definitely called the tube in the UK.
Well, what is a tube but a rail with a hole inside?
What?
A tube is like a cylinder that has a hole through the center, and a rail is just a tube is just a rail.
My God. All right. Anyway,
hole through the center.
Have you actually ever gone to a city that had a monorail? The only time I've ever heard it is in the Simpsons episode. It's always called the train or the BART system or whatever it is, right?
I don't. That's a very specific one because that stands for Bay Area Transportation or something transportation. So that's specific to the Bay Area. But yeah, I don't actually know. But monorail is also
This is a conversation I've had with Maynard before because we always were commenting on how Koreans and their late night games playing the Olima League, they were always going to the bathroom. So I was like, you a morning pooper or a night pooper? And I said it so I play Starcraft in the afternoon or the evening. So it's definitely, I go before, for sure.
Okay. See, so my follow-up here is that I feel like usually people always fall on one side or the other. So when a player...
A great game from seither, a bunch of great engagements. Oh my God!
Oh my goodness. You are so cool. I mean, both those things I agree with. There it is. We wanted some shade. We wanted some bad blood. There's a little bit of bad blood, a little bit of shade.
I think it's one of those scenarios where he can't quite believe he's in a position where he should be trying to fight Terrell, you know, as those disruptive shots hit some of the Banes, but too many hits, and that's just going to be SERRALL coming in. He had a pretty good surround on this army, right from the top to bottom, and while the first disruptor was good on some of the Banes, there was just so many more, and this is exactly where hooking the bottom side would have been the right call.
All right, well, that is going to be a majority of Rail's army and also a majority of...
Leads Marine Lord into position on top of that base once more, so kind of just where he wants to be. There's a good few moments for him, but there's such a terrifying amount of Zerg out right now. You've got to be so careful with these engagements. You need those Widow Mines to connect.
Oh, man, the big flank coming in from Lambo from 3 different angles is going to be running on in. A lot of the Widow Mines are connecting, but it's actually connecting on the bio, and it is an absolute massacre, Wardy. The entire bio.
This is absolutely ridiculous. A few shots going off. Storms on the Lings. I mean, I'm surprised he's storming the Lings so heavily. Nice to get rid of the infestors. I would have thought maybe save some of those storms for the corruptors, but they just dive straight on top of everything. Once again, carriers dropping by the second. The corruptor count not going anywhere. Spore crawlers to help. And Scarlet is going to take a game number 1 of this best of 3. Wow, 40 minutes.
Man, Wardy, the banks really ended up making the big difference. Scarlet is just going to morph in 23 more Banelings on top of her 25, bringing it up to nearly 50. And I think that is just her big move here. If she is just going to try and obliterate this army with raw, unbridled Baneling power. Forcefields are going to come out, though. The Ravages have to knock these down. They do start to knock them down, but Neeb has so many sentries, they can just keep replacing these over and over and over again. GG.
Is right.
If she keeps her drones alive, she's one of the top left.
Oh, she's going to lose some of them. That's really big. That's so important right now because that's the less buildings you can get on the map. Another one goes down. Only 2 drones alive. This hatchery is dropping. This is what it's coming down to. This is it. This is the only building right now. She needs to build something else before it goes down.
She pulled her drone away. Oh my gosh, they missed it. Oh my God, Scarlet! She was a quarter of a foot away from the extractor. She missed. Unbelievable miracles happen.
I love the play of just going into the main base, though, right? Like, it is the play just that wins you this game, maybe, because it forces a fight, and Well, it's actually a strategy says maybe I can just fight into this, and so many sellers.
Oh.
Did this disruptor just blow up half of them?
It
Maybe.
did just... Oh, the disruptor in the main! It kills off almost all the Marines! Woody, the supplies are even! Disruptors, my man!
I don't even know if this was... honestly, I feel like if you take the disruptor...
Yeah, I'm not sure. Difficult.
Well,
This DT's doing what they
Kind
can.
of it. Oh, that's a no! How does it go? What? Okay, the second shot was good though. How did that first shot go through? What? No.
Oh, he stopped being microed. I think he probably calculated that the shot was
Check
gonna
with
go.
the probes one more time. Don't forget, these are +2 Banelings, so they will one-shot the workers, and I think this time Kung Fu is just not going to stabilize anymore. Wow, the Zerglings being
Oh, these Banelings! They were so happy.
The lair starts, close to finishing out for Lambo. We've got a decent number of roaches, though, coming out for SERRALL. And mind you, he doesn't have the lair. He doesn't have roach speed. So is he going to try and just walk a bunch of roaches across the map here? Let's see if Lambo is able to see this and react in time to how he's going to try and do this.
He's absolutely going to go for it, and he's kind of been waiting till he gets a really good number, then going, and Lambo knows that he has no chance of holding it, and I mean, an early Sapphire, nice little lead in this game, at least economically.
Yeah, oh, that's about as much as you can ask for, really. Hero Dark Templar, he even gets a cancel there on that photon cannon. He's going to kill a couple more probes. I don't know that this DC would get away. I think it's faster than the Observer, Nate. What are you saying? There's no scans, bro. Oh, well, there's that.
Little ways where he's played these styles so many times that he changes up little things. You just have to react every single time, and it's difficult. Arctur took a few too many losses there in that game, almost brought that game back. I really want to commend Arctur, because that game number 1, it wasn't just like, oh, Bly blind him out and he just looked really silly. Bly got into a...
What a god. Go straight for that tank. You go straight for the tank and it's GG right here. Go, Silky, go. Get it, son! Burrow those lurkers. Here we go. The queens come out as well. They have enough energy for transfusions, obviously. The tank goes down and he is right on top of production with multiple lurkers. Time has also been muling, so he doesn't actually have a ton of scans. Got one for the main base there, that low ground tank. Gonna start shelling away at least one of those lurkers. Another tank pops out, pulls back. Ooh, Lynx from the backside, you're absolutely right. Stim about to finish here for time as well, but not that many Marines remaining. Oh my god, there's tanks. These tanks are so important. Another one died on the ramp there.
He's doing it, Maynard. This is really hard to
Yes,
clean
he
up.
is.
Another scan goes down. The lurkers are being fought with SCVs. Oh my god. It's working.
Oh, yes. Silky might be my favorite Zerg of all time.
Bruh.
Pay resources ahead in the cost effectiveness of his trades. Oh no! Make that. Never mind. Make that 2K. And, yeah, that was actually
Other options to help fight this?
Yeah, it looks like he might want to go for a what is that spell called?
The Neuros?
No, the spell that is never used.
Shroud?
We might just see it here. I mean, Neural is not done, and there's carriers. I think he's trying to hit a microbial shroud timing before Storm. Storm is nearly done, though.
Storm is done now, right? And problem is with microbial shroud, he drops it, but now the Hydras have to sit in it, which means you can just kind of attack time because he's dancing, and now he's getting split up a little bit as well, which is a little bit more difficult. However, he's going to win the fight on the top side. This means he's getting overrun on the bottom, but maybe he can bring those stalkers around and surround.
Yeah, he can almost blink forward. I think at this point the queens are having to be brought to the fight. And I mean, these Ravagers without support are so exposed. They're so weak units. I think Goblin needs to go and capitalize on it. I like it. I like that he's standing his ground now, fighting. He can blink forward.
Yeah, he's going to get a lot of kills here, right? I mean, these Ravagers trying to cross the file again, but their numbers are definitely thinning out. He's still trading well a Goblin on the top side of this fight. Now he blinks in to go for the Ravagers. He thinks he can kill them, but there are some Lings showing up, and all the Ravagers are going to go down.
I think he's done it. I think he's pulled the upset, and oh my god, he's eliminated a laser.
He has.
It's looking like it.
He's done it. Oh my goodness, he gets it in the end. A few more Lings still streaming in, but all the Ravagers are dead. A laser has basically nothing left. GG. A laser's out. Goblin gets his first. It's like Group C was the only one we really saw coming.
Also, I want to mention, as I was talking to Rotterdam, he was like, I need you to clarify to the broadcast that it wasn't a laser that was Goblin's toughest opponent. It was Vanya. Vanya was the most difficult opponent that he had to go up against. Which, you know, credit to Vanya. He showed in an amazing performance here, taking third place in a very difficult group, especially when, as we had just mentioned a little bit ago, a laser that wasn't even able to make it through.
Yeah, I mean,